Hi friends, my name is Michael and I am a Reiki Master Teacher and the President of the Universal Reiki Center. For this month's segment, I wanted to discuss a foundational principle, and that is based on the question, what is Reiki? For the answer, I'd like us to journey together back to 1927. Usui Sensei had passed, and two of his friends wrote an inscription on a memorial on behalf of Usui Sensei. Instead of reading the entire inscription, I'm going to focus on two paragraphs. If you would like to read the entire inscription, you can find that on our website at gotreiki.net and click on our history page, and the memorial inscription is there in full. But let me read for you two paragraphs that I find to be fundamental. And here it is. The ultimate goal is to understand the ancient secret method for gaining happiness, and thereby discovering an all-purpose cure for many ailments. If these principles are followed, you will achieve the great tranquil mind of the ancient sages. To begin spreading the Reiki system, it's important to start from a place close to you, i.e. yourself. Don't start from something distant, such as philosophy or logic. Sit still in silence every morning and every evening with your hands folded in the Gasho or Namaste position. Follow the great principles and be clean and quiet. Work on your heart and do this from the quiet space inside you. Anyone can access Reiki because it begins with yourself. Now, I don't know about you, but that just resonates so deeply within me. Let's go back and just pick this apart a little bit. The ultimate goal to understand the ancient secret method for gaining happiness. The ancient secret method for gaining happiness, and thereby or subsequently discover an all-purpose cure for many ailments. So in seeking Reiki, what we find from Usui's words here is that we're seeking the secret method for gaining happiness, contentment, peace, joy. And in finding that, we discover an all-purpose cure for many ailments. How does that sit with you? How does that make you feel? Happiness is the all-purpose cure for many ailments. In talking about Reiki, we talk about energy. Reiki is, in its essence, energy. Does happiness have an energy that is derived from it? Does anger have an energy that is derived from the experience or from the feeling, from the emotion? That's one of the 5 principles, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Happiness, peace, joy, love, contentment. Those have an energy. And it's that energy that is the all-purpose cure from many ailments, spoken of by Usui Sensei here. And he says that this is the ancient secret method. It's been practiced for thousands of years. I have longed for finding peace, joy, satisfaction, contentment. I've longed for that for so long. I've sought it in many different ways, not only through meditation, through yoga, through religion, through work, trying to find all of those things in my work, and maybe by becoming successful and rather wealthy and powerful, maybe that. It wasn't in the practice of any of those things that I attained the contentment or the joy or the peace or the satisfaction that this speaks of. It was when I rested from all of my work, all of my striving, that I found that I already possessed what I sought. And I think that's what Usui is saying here. If the principles are followed, okay, we'll talk about the principles here. I'll read them briefly. Don't be angry today. Okay, there's an energy that's associated with anger. Don't worry today. There's an energy that's associated with worry. Be grateful today. There's an energy that's affiliated with being grateful. Work hard in meditative practice today. That's taking the time for you and being still and experiencing in the quietness, in the void. Experience yourself and your connection with the divine. And be kind to others today. Being kind to others is just an expression of not being angry and not worrying, but being grateful and being quiet and knowing that we are connected to the divine. The natural reaction or response to that is being kind, both to yourself and to others. But we'll go into more detail about that in another segment. If these principles are followed, which we just read, you will achieve the great, tranquil mind of the ancient sages. And once you attain that, to begin spreading this Reiki system, it's important for you to start from a place close to you, which is yourself. Always begin with yourself. Have the experience yourself. So in the sharing, you're sharing yourself. You're not sharing something that's apart from you. You're sharing something that's a part of you, which is you. And then he goes on to say, don't start from something distant, such as philosophy or logic. Don't start from something that's cognitive. It's something that's external. Start from you. Logic, anybody can gain logic. Anybody can gather information and recite it. Parrots can do that. What he's saying is, don't be a parrot. Don't just spew information. Don't just have information that you can respond to questions with some logic. Instead, dig deep within yourself and have the experience. Have the experience for yourself. And thereby, when you share, you're sharing yourself. Sit still in silence every morning and every evening. Make it a sacred thing. Take the time for yourself. You know, we make the time for everything else and everyone else. But many times we forget about ourselves. For whatever reason. There's lots of reasons. There's lots of reasons that the field of psychology indicates is true. But the essential fact is, We're longing for something, the answers to those subtle questions of attaining joy and peace and satisfaction and contentment and love and all of those things. We're seeking those outside of ourselves. If we just do a little more for others, if we just gain a little bit more money, or we just gain a little bit more of this, or have a little more power, or if I just get to this point or to that point, or have this or go there, have this experience, then I will have this. And that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is completely opposite. If you have the experience, then everything else doesn't matter. Have the experience. I use the analogy of tasting cheesecake. If you like cheesecake, and I happen to not, but if I did, and if I was enjoying the most delicious piece of cheesecake, and the sensation is just exploding in my mouth and my senses, and I am overwhelmed with the joy and the satisfaction of the taste of this wonderful gift. And then to go home and try to share that experience with someone else who has not tasted that cheesecake. Maybe they tasted a frozen one, or they've had cheesecake before. Yeah, I understand. Or how about the person that has never even tasted cheesecake? How are they going to know? But if they haven't tasted this most amazing cheesecake, no matter how you describe it, through your cognitive information, through the sharing of words, it's nothing more than like eating a piece of cardboard. They have to have the experience themselves in order to relate to it. Otherwise, it's just cognitive. It's just mental. It's outside of ourselves and our true experience. And I think that's what Usui is saying.